I found a pregnancy test in the trash, but I had secretly gotten a vasectomy. The next day, I overheard. I never expected my life to change because of a piece of plastic in the trash. It started like any other evening. I got home from work, tossed my keys on the counter, and went to take out the trash. That's when I saw it. A pregnancy test. Resting. Right on top of the garbage. 2 pink lines. My heart stopped. My wife, Sarah, and I had talked about kids before, but we had both agreed to wait. She hadn't mentioned anything about trying, and there was one massive problem. I couldn't have kids, because 3 months ago, without telling Sarah, I had secretly gotten a vasectomy. At first I thought it had to be a mistake. Maybe the test belonged to a friend, or maybe Sarah had taken it out of curiosity. But the more I thought about it, the less sense it made. I took a deep breath and walked into the living room, trying to act normal. "Hey, babe, how was your day?" Sarah smiled at me like nothing had happened. "Same as always, just work and errands." I stared at her looking for any sign of guilt. But she was calm, too calm. "Anything interesting happen?" I asked, casually. She shook her head. "Not really. Why?" I forced a smile. "Just curious." Inside, my mind was racing. If Sarah was really pregnant, there was only one explanation. She had been with someone else. I didn't want to confront her without proof. She could lie, gaslight me, make excuses. No, I needed to catch her in her own web of deceit, so I played along, acted like everything was normal. But that night, while Sarah was asleep, I did something I never thought I'd have to do. I started investigating my own wife. I checked her phone while she slept, locked. Of course. But then I remembered, Sarah was terrible with passwords. I tried our anniversary. Nothing. Then her old college ID number. Bingo. I braced myself and opened her messages. One name stood out immediately. Matt. My hands tightened around the phone as I read the texts. Matt. You sure he won't suspect anything? Sarah. No, he's clueless. He actually trusts me, LOL Matt. You're sure it's mine? Sarah. Of course. Who else would it be? My blood ran cold. She didn't even pretend to love me. She was laughing at me. The next day, I kept my cool. I went to work, acted normal, came home, and smiled like I didn't know my wife was a liar. That's when fate intervened. Sarah was on the phone in the bedroom. She didn't realize I had come home early. I stood outside the door, heart pounding, as I heard her say the words that sealed her fate. I know, Matt. But I can't just tell Adam. He'd never forgive me. I have to find a way to make him think it's his. A pause. Then she laughed. He's so dumb. He'll never know. She was planning to trap me, to raise another man's child as mine. That was all I needed to hear. I didn't confront her. Not yet. I wanted revenge. First I called my lawyer, told him everything. I wanted to know my options before I made a move. Since we had a prenuptial agreement, cheating would cost her. Next, I made a copy of her texts and recorded her phone conversation. And then, I waited. A few days later, I played my role. I came home with a bottle of champagne and a huge grin. Sarah, I said, I have amazing news. She looked confused. What? I went to the doctor for a checkup, and he said everything. Looks great. In fact, I asked about having kids, and guess what? I'm completely infertile. I can't have children. I watched her face go pale. She tried to smile. Well, what? That's crazy because I'm pregnant. I stared at her, letting the silence stretch. Then I pulled out my phone and played the recording of her phone call with Matt. Her face crumbled. You were saying? I asked, crossing my arms. Sarah started crying. Adam, please, I can explain. I laughed bitterly. Oh, I bet you can. But here's the thing. You don't have to. I pulled out a manila envelope and tossed it on the table. Divorce papers, I said. And before you ask, yes, I already filed. And guess what? Since we have a prenup and you cheated, you get nothing, she gasped. Wait, Adam, please. We can work this out. I shook my head. You laughed at me, Sarah. You planned to lie to me for years. You weren't sorry when you cheated. You were only sorry when you got caught. And with that, I walked out. Sarah tried to call. She tried to get mutual friends involved, but the moment I sent them the proof, they all turned. Against her, Matt? He bailed. He wasn't ready to be a father, so now Sarah was alone, pregnant, broke, and desperate. Me. I was free. A year later, I was in a better place. New job, new apartment, and most importantly, a new girlfriend who actually loved me. One day, I got a text from an unknown number. Sarah, I regret everything. I miss you. Please talk to me. I stared at the message for a long moment. Then I deleted it. No reply, no closure. Because I had already won.